if you look just at the Quran, you will get the indication that you can have sexual intercourse with a 5-year-old. The reason why it's haram to have sexual intercourse with a 5-year-old is not found in the Quran at all. If you just read the Quran, it is halal, it would be halal to have sexual intercourse with a 5-year-old. Chapter 65, verse 4. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us who you can divorce and who you cannot divorce. And then he says, وَاللَّائِ لَمْ يَحِدْنَ. وَاللَّائِ لَمْ يَحِدْنَ. And the ones who had never been pubescent before.
Baba, there is one guy who's called Mohammed Hijab. He's on faith, he's a Islamic apologist. Maybe you've heard of him before. Have you?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Okay. Mohammed Hijab said, if you are a Quranist, a Quran alone person, that means you will be exposed. The Quran alone will make you a pedophilia, a wife beater. Is it true that if you follow the Quran alone, Quran teaches you to be a pedophile? A pedophilia? I don't know what is it. What is your answer to that statement? That's what he said.
Yeah, I think I saw that video, and I even went to a platform where on Clubhouse, it's called Clubhouse, where somebody asked me concerning that. Now, first of all, the mushriks or the hadithiyuns, I would say, they are doing whatever they can to make the Quran look stupid and useless in the eyes of the people. On one way, they will pretend that the Quran is the best book in the world. On the other hand, they will tell you, no, if you follow the Quran alone, you are lost. You need to follow something else. So I consider them the devils, the mushriks. You understand? They are way out of coverage area. But to address that point, the verse he quoted was in chapter 65, verse 4. If you can put it there on your screen and to analyze something.
I will.
The last time when I came to your program, I told you that when you're dealing with the Quran, you have to learn how to deal with context. And when we say context in Arabic, that is the siyak. That is siyak. Now, if you don't understand how context work, always you misquote a written work. You will not know what it's talking about or what is actually being said. So he caught the people listening to him off guard. You understand? So then he made something up by saying, oh, the Quran, if you follow the Quran alone, you will not know, because he was basing that intellect based on people who don't really understand the Quran but claim they follow the Quran. So they don't know the answers to that. Okay. But in the Quran, you can make a verse mean whatever you want it to mean. But the actual fact is it what God actually meant? That is the question. So even
so
the Muslims, yes, even
so
the
how
Muslims,
do we know what God really meant?
Yeah, I'll give you the example. That's why I said we need to use the context. So when you open the chapter, usually it has to start from verse 1. The chapter itself is talking about divorce. That is talaq. Talaq in Arabic means divorce, right? So now, when we say chapter, it's a written work, a subdivision of a written work, usually titled and numbered. It gives you numbers of verses and then the title. Do you see? So when we say chapter, the chapter is talaq. It's talking about divorce. So now the divorce, it starts with verse 1. It says, oh, you, the prophet. It's talking to the prophet. When you divorce the women, the word says an-nisa. And when we say an-nisa, we don't include you don't include little kids who even haven't attained puberty inside. We don't include them. The word says the women. Every intellectual person listening to me, take your dictionary, check the meaning of the women. The word, the woman or the women. It's an adult female.
Okay.
So when you divorce the women, then divorce them by their what? Period. Meaning there's a number of period you have to count for the women. We call it in Arabic iddat.
Iddat, yeah.
This idda is what you have to count But God started by saying, when you divorce the women, He didn't say when you divorce the girls. It is a stupid person who would think he's talking about kids. When I get to verse 4, you will see the verse. So then it says, by their period, and count the period, and beware of God your Lord. Do not expel them from their homes, nor shall they leave unless they have committed a proven adultery or immorality. Then it says, these are the limits of God. That is hududullah, the limits God has set for a person, right? Then it says, and whoever trespasses the limits of God, then he has wronged his soul. It means if you do bad, you do it for yourself, against your own soul. Then God says, you do not know, perhaps God will bring about a matter after that, meaning a situation after that. Then verse 2, and when their term, this term you have to count, the idda, the ajala, when their term has reached after you are counting, then take them in kindness or separate from them in kindness. Because it has the time frame you have to count. The 4 months is for divorce. So that inside the 4 months, the 3 months, you have to check whether the lady is pregnant or not. You understand? And then after the 4 months, you can decide to take the woman back or go ahead with the divorce.
Okay, that is your you can do that as a man, but the woman has no right. The woman cannot decide to take you back or not to.
No, the woman can decide. God allows reconciliation. Quran chapter 4, verse 128 to 130. You can reconcile. Both of you can decide. It doesn't matter.
No, okay. Continue.
You understand? If the woman doesn't need you, then the divorce has to go ahead. If she wants you, then you can settle and come back again. So God says, and when their term has reached, then take them in kindness or separate from them in kindness. Then he says, and let two of justice, like people of justice among you, two people among you, bear witness and establish the testimony. That is for God, not for anybody. They are going to establish a testimony to bear witness that the divorce is going to happen or not for God. That is an admonishment for whoever believes in God and the last day, and whoever reverences God, he will make a way out for him. Right? Then verse 3, and will provide for him from where he does not take into consideration, which means you are following the limits God has set for you. So God is the one to provide for you. And whoever relies on God, then he is sufficient for him. God will be sufficient for you if you rely on God, because he has set the limits for you. Then he says, indeed, God will accomplish his matter. God has already assigned a measure for everything. He has made a measure for everything, meaning a calculation for everything, whether it's a divorce, whether it's this, whether it's that. He has made the arrangement for everything. So he has already assigned a measure. Then now we go to verse 4. You see, the context is still talking about women. No kids there.
Okay.
So now verse 4 says, as for those who despair of menstruation among your women.
Okay.
You see, mention women, not among your kids or girls. No, among your women. The Arabic word is nisaikum. Then it says, if you doubt, then their period is 3 months. That is the women still. Then now it says, also for those who have not menstruated. Because the woman, you are waiting to see whether she's pregnant or not. So you want to be sure she will menstruate. If she menstruates, you know she's not pregnant. So you can go ahead with the 4 months and divorce her. But since you are not sure whether she's pregnant or not.
But you see, I don't speak Arabic, but for my and by checking the tafsir and the hadith, which you don't accept and don't believe, okay. But he is saying, according to the verse, according to the one I have here right here, and also you see, he said their term, those who are menopause, their term is 3 months, and then he said, and also, which is speaking about different people, not that same people, because it says, and also for those who have not menstruated. So he's not speaking about the same people who are menopause or whatever. He's saying, and also those who have not menstruated yet. or something like this.
I'm giving you a context. In English, you can't just start a sentence by saying "and also" without making a sense in the subject.
Okay.
It's impossible for English language. You just say "and also" for those
No,
without.
but because you already read it, you already read about the menopause. Those who have reached menopause, their terms shall be 3 months. We have that.
But did you see where I started?
Yeah.
I started from verse 1.
Verse
Did he
1,
say
yes.
girls? Did he say kids? Did he say anybody else other than the women?
Yeah, no, I understand that, but now
Good.
we have to analyze, because he's saying, and also those who have not yet menstruated yet.
Yeah,
So
he's talking about women. Let me repeat the verse.
Okay.
Verse 4. As for those who despair of menstruation among your women, this is the subject.
Okay, I understand that.
Among your women. So now he's going to give you categories of women, those who have menstruated and those who have not menstruated. So that is the subject. So as for those who despair of menstruation, al-mahid, among your women, if you doubt, then their period is 3 months, the counting time. Then
So
now
who are those women? Who are those women exactly now? The first
women you are divorcing.
I said, and those who no longer expect menstruation among your women. Who are those women? How do we know what women is he talking about?
Did you understand the subject when I started reading?
Yeah, I did.
First
but you see,
all,
now we want to know the women. Wait, the women who don't have menstruation right now, we will call them maybe menopause women. The women who are old,
no.
older.
It doesn't say menopause. There's no menopause.
I know that is why they don't.
Own words putting it there. Let me be the one. I'm explaining to you what the verse is, right?
Okay.
Ask me questions based on what I'm explaining, not what somebody else told you. That's the difference. Because the sectarians, they are twisting the narrative. Because I believe God explains the Quran. They believe the Hadith explains it for them. It doesn't mention menopause here. There is no menopause woman here in this verse. It's talking about the context of menstruation. You understand? So when it comes to the divorce, that's why I say you have to understand the subject and the context. Without understanding the subject and the context, you can let it mean whatever you want it to mean by putting your own words there. And that is the problem. Seto, I'm going to finish this verse, but I'm going to give you an example to how context and the subject is important when you're understanding a written work. Okay. Seto, let's say we are talking right now. Let's say we are talking about Barcelona and Real Madrid. Then out of the statement, I told you that, hey, Seto, Barcelona must win the match. They have to win the match. So whilst I was telling you like that, then let's say Lifestone just came in without knowing what we were talking about. Then I just told you at once, Seto, those people, they have to kill them. They have to kill them. They have to kill them. What do you think Lifestone will be thinking?
He won't be thinking that you are speaking about Barcelona winning the match.
Exactly. He will miss the point. But then if he is not smart enough to ask us what we are talking about, what will he do? He will start assuming that we are talking about going to kill somebody. Do you see how the subject and the context plays a major role? So without understanding the subject and the context, you can now put your own narrative by changing things, and that will mess up everything. This is what Hadith use, the mushriks. This is what they do to the Quran.
Okay, Baba. Okay, because now people are calling already. Okay, so I think one question has taken so much time. So what do you say to this? The verse which is saying, if you doubt, their period is 3 months, and also those who have not menstruated. What do you mean by who are those? What is that? Those who are not
women. The women, the period you are counting for them is based on trying to know if they are pregnant or not. So you can be with a woman, you're about to divorce her. Her menstruation might delay. It might not come. For people who are married, they know what I'm talking about. A woman's menstruation might delay. She might be expecting her menstruating this month. It might not come.
Oh, okay.
So it's talking about women. It's not about girls. It's not about
I know, but he's talking about some women who have not yet menstruated. They are also.
That's why
their period is also 3 months. The women who have not yet menstruated, if you are divorcing them, their period, either is 3 months. That is what I understand from the verse.
Yes, it mentioned that, but both for pregnant, the one who is expecting menstruation, and the one who is not expecting menstruation, you just have to wait the 3 months and know. Because with 3 months, if a lady is pregnant, you know.
Yeah. And that is what the people are saying. Those women who have not yet menstruated, that is why they are thinking that is only children who don't menstruate.
Please, Seto, the verse. Do you see a girl mentioned in the verse?
No, I don't see that. But
Do
we
you
see
a
a statement. No, we see a statement of somebody who has not yet menstruated. And when we take that in consideration, we see who is not yet menstruated. Is it the woman or is it the girl? That is why they are saying. So I will just leave it like this.